Hello, folks. Trying something a little different here at PegaWorld. Trying to make sure the audio is really loud on my end. Okay, try this. All right. If anybody is out there right now checking this out, let me know. I'm doing something a little different right now. I'm here in Vegas, getting ready to check out the PegaWorld Day 2 keynote, but at the same time, I'm actually also kind of executive producing another PPN show called The Crunch that is currently being broadcast on the PPN, Players Productions Network LinkedIn page. This is different because I've never tried to do two shows, host two shows or produce two shows, this watch party being one of them, at the same time as another show is going on. So I don't even know if this is going to work. And if there's anybody out there, any comments, just let me know. Hey, are you seeing this? One, are you hearing it? Are you hearing anything? Well, I got the mute on, so let me turn the sound on from the live stream coming from the PegaWorld keynote. We're just waiting for that to go live. But if there is anybody out there, just leave me a comment saying that you are seeing this, you are hearing me, and if you are hearing the background music coming from the keynote live stream that's playing right now. Because in addition to what I'm doing, I'm actually producing another show using another StreamYard instance, and that one seems to be going on fine. Thank goodness. That's the main priority. But I wanted to see if I could actually do this live stream while doing this. Okay, it sounds like they're getting ready to go live. This should be good. And if you are there, just leave me a comment. Let me know. We are going to check this out with me while I kind of produce another show on the other channel. This is like brand new territory for me. I hope it works. We shall see. I like the dynamic duo they have.
So can I just say
they
how
did a great
terribly
job
fair it is that yesterday Steph and I had to follow Alan Trefler, the CEO of the entire company, and today we have to follow rock violin with EDM playing Guns N' Roses. Please give it up for.
By the way, the reason that the venerable Paul Greenberg is not with me right now,
that was awesome,
is because his house
that was awesome
may not be having
like
power.
We had a great day, right? Like we heard from leaders, we did breakouts, we did everything. Like,
they're
Steph,
getting a
generator
put into their house.
What pushed your button?
He may be able to join at some point. We'll keep the light on for him.
That's what I do, Steph.
But in the meantime,
you're going to check out the keynote. Was absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to do more of that today.
I've got to tell you, so we've only had Blueprint for what, like 10 weeks, somewhere around there? How long's it been?
10 weeks.
10 weeks. And I heard that today there's going to be something about Blueprint, because yesterday when I went into the Innovation Hub, right? You remember all you folks yesterday when Karim made us, if you will, pump it up for Blueprint? I went into the Innovation Hub about 4 o'clock yesterday, and the line for Blueprint was literally like, what, 5 deep?
I got to try this Blueprint thing before
I leave. So that was my absolute
that demo
part of the
from
show. I
Kern
was really
yesterday
excited.
was really great.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I have
Made
some really
me want
good
to
news
try
for
it.
you. We are kicking today off.
I don't even know if they mentioned the word no code. But that was a complete no code demo of that Blueprint, and it was
Blueprint's been out, like I said, 10 weeks.
Easy and really great. So I got to check this out.
That's going to come up here on this stage
before I leave Vegas
and actually talk about it to this
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, and he's
I can get out of this
awesome.
110-degree weather.
Let's bring to the stage the Senior Vice President of Design Authorities from Deutsche Telekom, Daniel Wenzel.
Okay. So right off the bat, customer story here. They do great customer. They have a great group of customers that do these presentations.
All right, so tell us a little bit about Deutsche Telekom.
Yeah, I gladly do. I mean, Jeff made an early introduction yesterday. Deutsche Telekom is the world's largest telecommunications provider. We are serving more than 250 million customers in fixed line and mobile business and make around about 110 billion euro revenue each year. But that is not really our mission. as Jeff said yesterday, we want to bring love to our customers and make customers to fans. We believe that this is only possible if we become the leading digital telco. As one of the essences, we believe that this is a platform business, platforms to scale to provide a digital service.
Everyone is a platform.
And that does not only apply to our customers, but we want also to bring love to our employees. And here Pega kicks in, because we use Pega in the project Hercules to provide a digital service for all the HR services that we got. Me personally, I'm taking care of IT and process governance for all our finance and HR systems. And that is why I gladly elaborate on how we are transforming 800 HR processes with Pega and how Blueprint is going to help us here.
So that's a lot of processes and a lot of employees, but I know there are additional complexities because I believe you Germans didn't work at all last month, but in the US, we had to pretty much work every day.
Yeah, I mean, May is amazing in Germany because there are a lot of holidays, so there's literally not a full week of work in any of those. So I definitely didn't want to trade. But I think that also beautifully describes the complexity we are facing in HR. Not only that we have a bunch of processes that we need to realize and transform, but also in our more than 25 countries where we are active, we face different local legislations that bring on top additional complexity. And the thing is, as it's legal, it always needs to be very precise. Not a lot of room to maneuver. And that is something where Pega manages with its center-out technology, the orchestration of different systems that interact and bring a digital experience to our employees.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you have 800 to deal with, so that seems ambitious, and I'm going to go out on the limb and say you're using Blueprint to do that.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. From my personal perspective, the biggest bottleneck in the digital transformation is to have business people being capable to talk IT. Yeah, so elaboration takes a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed because, let's be honest, they come from two different worlds. And that was a point where I was curious because Fred Cooney from Pega reached out to me and said, we have something in place called Blueprint. We would like to pitch to you.
Yeah, all right.
And he did that with the invoice approval process. And my feedback was, client, come on, guys. Yeah, that's kindergarten. Because invoice approval is an easy process, it's well defined. There are so many standard systems in the market presenting that. If your AI cannot deliver that, that would be way to go. But he responded and picked up the challenge and said, okay, go with any process you like, in any language you like, and we see where it takes us. So I said, okay, let's do something for grown-ups. And we did Beitragsabführung, Beihilfeablöseversicherung.
Good type.
What was that in?
It's actually a German word, and I think it beautifully describes our understanding of administration and efficient processing.
Wow.
The point is, for sure, Blueprint did not get this right. Yeah, and that was also what the challenge was designed to. Because how more specific can it be? Beitragsabführung bei Hilfeablöseversicherung is a service that is a health insurance service for civil servants. So not only we took a word that is, even for Germany, very, very specific, very legal terms, we took a niche process and we challenged it to where it would go. And I would say it's fairly 80% right. And that is an amazing job for a year of work. Yeah, I really need to say that. And it's a good starting point to get the discussion going.
Yeah, even for something that specific and that complex and something I can't pronounce, you were able to get it pretty close and really speed that up as a great starting point.
So that was the point where we said 800 processes at full scope. We are done with the first 500, so 300 to go. And we said we are looking desperately for acceleration, to be faster, to progress. And that is where we saw that Blueprints provide certain quick wins for us as of today.
So what are some of those quick wins and benefits that you're seeing right now?
So the first one I would like to mention is to speak a common language. Yeah, it's tough for business to formulate their experience, their expertise, the stuff they are really good at, in terms that IT is capable to understand it right in the first way. So that is really slowing us down. If we look into an implementation path from elaboration to go live, I would say it's a 50-50 workload spread between those. And with Pega Blueprint, business has the chance to describe processes in their own words, with their terms, with what is meaningful to them. And the beauty of Pega Blueprint is that it adds on top things business tends to forget. Yeah, like the unhappy path, like what happens when we cancel, where is a loop, if there is anything forgotten, so that we just not define the perfect world. And even if we would just use Blueprint as like a checklist to run through the cornerstones of a project, that provides a structure that translates into speed. And
Yes.
the last thing I want to mention, I don't know who of you ever heard the term, I thought that would be different, or that would look different when doing an IT implementation. With the preview function of Blueprint, we have a clear idea on what we can expect. And that reduces double work in implementation and brings us closer to going live.
Right, so again, so you can speak the same language, collaborate, speed up, which is going to help you with that huge scope that you talked about, and the legacy systems.
Absolutely. And I think we all can agree that when we look onto a number of 800 processes, not every process is equally important. So I'm a bit hesitant to use Pega Blueprint now for stuff that is material to our employees, that is important for them. Let's talk, for example, salary. I wouldn't like to Blueprint to design our payroll and to make sure that every month I get my cash right. Yeah, so that is something where it's a bit to go, I would say. But on the other hand side, we are facing on our backlog round about 250 processes of low impact. Low impact means also they are executed less than 150 times a year, so less than 3 times a week for an organization more than 100,000 people large. There is literally nothing to win in those processes. Not when it comes to efficiency, not when it comes to customer delight. So every euro spent is one too much from my perspective. But the point is, when talking about digital transformation and going from a legacy system to a new digital platform, you need to empty the old platform. You need to either stop doing or migrate the stuff that you need. And that is where the value comes in. Because for those processes, it says good is good enough. And by emptying those, we are able to pull the plug on the legacy system, because those benefits just materialize when you're done with your full program. And by that, free up multi-millions of euro, which we are currently spending in application and application operation and application management.
So you have a little bit to do. Sounds like a really complicated mission, and I'm glad that you're finding uses for Blueprint today, and obviously there's more to come. But when do you need to be done?
Yeah, good point. So the project Hercules needs to be done by the end of 2025. That's the reason why we call it mission to 0 to 5, whatever it takes. Because if you can do the math, we started in 2018, implementing a platform, connecting all the backend systems, and up to today implemented 500 processes. So 6 years, 500 processes. We are in June, so 18 months for remaining 300. We're desperately looking for speed. And that is something I really appreciate in teaming up with Pega, because we expressed our concern and our business challenge, and you guys made it your challenge as well, and strong collaboration and partnership just across the whole last year, and I really look forward for this. Yeah, and mentioning Alan specifically, last year at this point, he promised to double developer productivity. Seems like you delivered on that.
He remembered.
But on top, I also see that Blueprints significantly increases productivity on the business side in IT projects.
Yep. And we really appreciate your partnership as well, Daniel, because we've learned a lot from working closely with you and made changes based on that. So we appreciate that. And speaking of, what else can Blueprint do for you?
I would mention 2 points. So
what else could Brown do?
First of all, it's an impressive job as of what you did throughout the last year, but there's a bit of way to go on integrating existing blueprints into existing ecosystems, like enterprise class structures, reusable items. That's still stuff that needs some manual work, so I would love to see that automated. And the other thing is that Blueprint is currently designed to work at design time. So when we are creating a process, I would love to see what it can do when I use it in runtime and helps me continuously optimizing our processes.
Yeah, that would be
Good
cool.
news, we saw some of that in Karim's demo yesterday, and I've seen more demos from the product team as well, so we're on the same page. Got you there.
Great.
All right, and I think you've got more to share today.
Yeah, thanks for the advertising slot. So 11:30 that day, I have also a breakout session talking about how Pega creates value and why it is not what you might expect. So really looking forward to see all of you there.
Well, maybe not, I don't think everybody can fit, but I'll definitely be there. All right,
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
I like when a customer remembers what was said at the last event and kind of holds them to it, but then also gives them credit when they actually hit the mark. That was good to hear and
Well, you know, I was talking to Daniel backstage. What you folks probably don't know is that Daniel is actually a huge fan of the New England Patriots
Oh.
here in the U.S., the National
Why do you have
Football
to
League.
bring
And the
that
New England
up?
Patriots, I like this, I'm hearing it already.
No.
The New England Patriots play in Boston, where Steph and I are from.
Who else plays in Boston?
Oh,
Go
gosh, now the
Celtics!
Celtics.
Yeah, that's what we got.
And it would have to be worked in
Oh.
some.
Must be from Dallas. Must be from Dallas. But honestly, as Daniel was talking, I love his style. I totally recommend his breakout. He's really a cool dude, but I think I learned a lot because he really talks about not just the good things about Blueprint, but some of the challenges, right? And I feel like I learned a lot as he was speaking.
That's great, because PegaWorld is all about learning. Learning from people here on stage, learning from each other, but your learning journey doesn't end here. Pega Academy is available all of the time with incredible content for you to continue your learning journey.
Now, Steph, I've heard talk from you now, Alan, Karim, about this thing. What was it? It was like Socrates, what was it?
Socrates?
Socrates. Okay.
Socrates.
So what is that? I think everybody out here would probably would enjoy if you could kind of break it down for us a little.
Sure, but let's take a step back first. So when GenAI first came out, it was used for simplistic use cases. You would ask it a question and it would give you an answer. Sure, a great answer, but basically glorified search.
Like a really great example of that, if I asked GenAI, hey, what food should I feed Walter the Quaker parrot? It would give me a great list, 36, 37 different things, great pictures, right? But it was really more information, search results than it was learning, right?
Exactly. That's information versus learning, which is why Pega has created Pega Socrates. And what this means, it's a Socratic
really
approach
cool.
to learning. It meets you where you are individually at in your learning journey, takes you through an interactive conversation, assessing your gaps in knowledge along the way, bringing you to your end result faster than ever before.
And I think the key word there is probably interactive, right? And like, this is your thing, not mine, so tell me if I'm wrong. But the old way of learning was very linear. You started in one place, and you went to the next, and you went to the next. Hopefully by the end of it, you gathered up enough information to actually pass the test, pass the quiz. But with the new way of learning, the Socratic approach, it's really interactive. It's a dialogue, it's a conversation, and it happens really fast.
Absolutely, and I think we've talked about it enough right now, so let's go ahead and take a look at an example. And more good news, Matt, I've used Customer Decision Hub as the example.
Well, that's my favorite topic, and like always, you made it about me, which I love, so actually, let's do this. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's get started. All right, so what you see here is the start of the Socratic conversation. Everyone starts in the same place and has to prove out the same learning objectives, because it's important that you prove proficiency in this area.
Okay, so I had a question. So I saw the learning objectives pop up, right? Like, do you have to go through those like in a specific order, pattern?
Nope, that's traditional learning.
Okay.
You're going to achieve these based on the knowledge that you prove throughout that conversation, so they could literally be achieved in any order based on that conversation.
Okay, so big ask for you. Let's see what that conversation. Hey, I've got experience. It's going to make me prove it before it makes me go through like a whole. Looks like a really good answer, but I haven't actually checked off any of the learning objectives. Like, why is that?
Because you didn't fully prove the learning objective. It's maintaining the quality of
Okay, my second big ask, can we look at this again through the lens of somebody that maybe doesn't have a lot of experience?
Yep, someone like me, because I don't have as much experience as you do. So let's restart the example using Customer Decision Hub. And again, I start in the same place with the same learning objectives, but I'm going to indicate that I really don't have experience on this topic.
Okay, so you got two different users. Like, is their experience going to be completely different? Like, how's that work?
Absolutely, you can already see the difference right up there.
You know what's great? In the real world, folks, if you ever have worked with a Customer Decision Hub, you've seen this slide, right? And I built this slide, so, awesome. But more than that, Socrates actually picked this up, consumed it, and used it as knowledge to inform users, which I think is fantastic.
And that kind of looks like you too, Matt.
Well, I think if you were looking for a head model, 100%. Somebody had to be the muse, right?
Yeah, thanks for your head and your content, Matt. All right, so the conversation continues, and to the point that Alan made, this experience is going to use that rich content. It's going to use videos, it's going to use slides, it's going to use everything at its disposal to meet the learner where they're at. Since I don't have a lot of knowledge, I'm going to